We all need to take the keys to our car and throw them into the wood chipper and vow never, ever to drive a vehicle again. Because if it saves just one life. So I ask, would we have fewer deaths if we put regulators on cars that prevented them from exceeding 25 miles an hour? Undoubtedly. And while we're at it, hey, I've got an even better idea. Let's ban driving altogether, because that way we remove the odd death or two that would occur at 25 miles an hour. Because if we can save just one life. No one's going to accept such regulations because we realize that life has inherent perils and that living to the utmost means that we have to accept and take on some of these risks. Also, because we realize that life is short and we like to be able to get places rapidly versus the transport of yesteryear. So some would suggest to you that we shut down forever because of COVID. Even if it's an 85-year-old woman with renal failure who's going out in a couple of weeks max, if we can save just one life. The way that certain segments of society are advocating that we behave as a collective, it is my belief that the presupposition they must be under is that we live forever, where in fact death can visit upon us at any moment.
Look, I caught Flo, Joe. You don't think I can catch you? My ankle!
They say, let's slow down our economy. Let's put small businesses at a 0 mile an hour speed limit, destroying their dreams and livelihoods, as well as our sense of community. How many people have given up an entire year of their lives, hunkering down, scared of catching the virus? Do you know some? I do. A whole year. Will they get that year back? Will you get that year of your life back? What are the odds that a healthy person, unlucky enough to catch the virus, would have catastrophic effects from COVID? What about putting on a seatbelt and driving like it's raining outside? We still get to where we want to go. How many people do you think have committed suicide from the ensuing depression of being locked down, from losing their business, or have taken up opiates or alcohol? So you want to choke off COVID by taking unilateral action and demanding that everybody shelter in place beyond the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, which at the time at least made sense. And when an actual leader stands up against extending these draconian measures, many individuals want to demonstrate their empathy and cast themselves as a thought leader, when in fact they're just following the drones at CNN and the New York Times by castigating and making an evil villain out of the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. He became the biggest media villain while praise was extended to Andy Cuomo of New York. Now you take a look at the results. Ron DeSantis and Florida are far better off than New York, and Andy Cuomo faces a potential impeachment over his reintroducing COVID-affected patients into nursing homes. Who could have figured that such a susceptible population might catch COVID and die because of reintroduction, and Cuomo then lied about it? Or take California, whose state has an exodus of high net worth individuals as they continue to lock out people from exercising by preventing gyms from opening. Because you can never be too cautious. California schools, they remain closed while children wilt on the vine, learning nothing, interacting with nobody, not socially advancing. Who knows the ramifications years down the line that are going to take place because Governor Newsom wanted to virtue signal. And once again, you can never be too cautious. Let's show fealty to the teachers' unions because they need to be protected at all costs while everybody else has gone back to work. even as the science demonstrates that there is almost no COVID transmission from students to teachers, that students, young people, are barely, if any, are susceptible to the virus in any meaningful way. Meanwhile, schools are open across almost the entire world. California restaurants that invested tens of thousands of dollars in the necessary equipment to provide outdoor dining as mandated by law, and then in one fell swoop, like Charlie Brown trying to kick the football and Lucy pulling it away, the government tells them at the last second, no, you cannot conduct business. All these California restaurants that have gone out of business permanently. All the potential entrepreneurs that will never open because they're not certain how the state is going to handle their investment in the future. All these negative ramifications that are coming down the line because of how the government is behaving now by taking away freedoms and liberties in exchange for supposed safety. Meanwhile, California's COVID results are no better than Florida's, despite the draconian lockdowns that are still going on, and Florida is doing pretty well. All my friends in Florida say there's no lockdown here, come to Florida. So the question is, do you want to continue to abide by the edicts of those supposedly caring individuals who tell you to slow down to 0 miles an hour, to not live your life? And that they don't know when or if you'll ever be able to drive again, and if so, only if nobody else is at risk. These are the same people that are taking marching orders from Jeff Bezos at Amazon or the Walton family at Walmart, who of course are given exceptions and allowed to stay open and take the customers of those who acquired them and procured them over years as they are forced to shut. I don't know about you, but I want to be able to get into my car and drive it safely to the gym, to my work, to drive my son to school and watch him smile and laugh as he interacts with other children, as he grows and he has fun. If you want your car to lay fallow in your garage, hopefully, of course, not on a city street where you'll either get a parking ticket or will be broken into by someone who is desperate because he's put out of work by your caring local blue state government. That, of course, is your choice. But don't tell me not to drive because you're living in a state of fear and want the rest of us to do so as well. If you're new, subscribe. Hit the notification bell and thumb up this video, and have an amazing day. Peace out.